Cross-country season is back at Seton Hall, and the Pirates are really excited about the 2019 edition. Matt Mlodzinski here alongside Jack Monahan. And Jack, this Seton Hall men's team is already off to a hot start as they came in first at last weekend's NYIT Invitational.
That's the most impressive stat line if you're the Pirates.
Yeah, 10 Quad 1 wins, and that's, again, tied for second right up there with Kansas and Baylor. And not only that, but those Quad 1 wins have gotten Seton Hall to 17th in the net rankings, which is really the main standard by what bracketologists go with and where the Pirates will be seated on Selection Sunday.
Right now, as you said, you're looking at, as Jerry said, of course, as well before, you're projected as right now a 2 to 3 seed in most bracketologies. If you're the Pirates, that's really where you want to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you'd rather play the 14 or the 15 seed instead of a 13 or a 12, and it keeps going down the line. The odds are just better for those first and second rounds, but not only that, but it's a team that could play close to home too.
And leading into that point there is, if you do get that good seed, you have the chance of playing in Albany, and then if you move on in the tournament, then playing at Madison Square Garden, where we know the Pirates play very well.
Yeah, and again, no correlation between those two, but if Seton Hall at least is on the 4 line or better, they're most likely going to be placed in Albany, and then they could be in the East Regional and at MSG, and those 4 games are pretty much home games for this Pirates team. That'd be huge for the program and the team going forward.
All right, well, now we welcome in our third and final guest.
Will never be forgotten on Wednesday.
Yeah. And not just that, John, but you look at this team, and it's, again, a team that's been called a second-half team for most of the season, and almost 50 second-half points in that game. You saw, like you mentioned, Miles Powell kind of took that back seat, and then Sandro Mamakhelishvili hitting that game winner. And I want to mention why that was so important, too, because you look at him at 6'11" with that height and that athletic ability. I mean, he's such a tough guard on an out-of-bounds play like that.
He's a Swiss Army knife, Matt.
They shoot the heck out of the ball, and they don't stop.
I agree with you, but I see Butler taking this game, knowing that they're down right now and they need one to get back up. I think they're going to go in there ready to fight, and I think they're going to be able to pull this one out.
Well, you're the basketball player, so you'll probably get that one right, but I'm going to flip it over to Creighton. I just think their shooting's going to be too much. And, Jerry, just to take you through the list again, Walter Dukes, Bob Davies, Terry DeHare, and Miles Powell. Obviously, that's a list that spans multiple generations. So for this younger crowd behind us, can you just explain Walter Dukes and Bob Davies, the impact they had on the Seton Hall basketball program?
Walter Dukes is the #1 player in Seton Hall basketball history, will always be #1. I don't think he'll ever be unseated.
Back here with Coach Yeager after the 3-set victory for the Pirates. Coach, first off, congrats on the win. What did you really see out of your team that you liked today?
We continue to see Haley Gasser really do well on the right side. That's something that we've kind of been missing, is kind of our go-to person. So it's nice that someone's finally stepping up in a role that they can succeed at, and Haley's done exactly that, both leading us this set and then over the last weekend too.
Yeah, and Haley had a career-high 16 kills. Reese Kohler also tied her career high with 10 kills. What can you say about them, Haley being a senior and her leadership on this team?
Absolutely. Haley's a leader. She's our captain, and she'll always be in that leadership role. Everybody's kind of looked up to Haley for a really long time, for the last couple years. And with Reese coming in, we couldn't ask anything more from a freshman. There's still a lot of inexperience for us, and Reese is a part of that. But Reese will only get better with time, and Reese gets better every single match for us.
Now, you won't be here at Walsh for a couple weeks, but what are you going to be working on in the next couple of weeks? You still have some good big matches until then.
Yeah, for sure. We're still very injured right now, so we're still trying to put the puzzle pieces together, and just trying to get more answers for us moving forward. But we hate being on the road. We love Walsh Gym, and it sucks that we're away for a long time, but we got to get some road wins here. We haven't gotten that yet this season, so the more wins we can get this preseason, the better off we'll be.
Thanks, Coach, again. Good win.
Yep,
now back to Maddie in the booth. The winter break is officially over, and the spring season is upon us as Seton Hall women's tennis gets ready to start up their 2020 slate with matches against Binghamton on Saturday and Georgetown this Sunday. Now, it is a team with a lot of experience. There's 4 returning seniors from last season, but that doesn't mean it won't come with some challenges. Coach Kevin McGlynn told me that there's no doubles pairings remaining from last season, so it's something that Seton Hall is going to have to work on during practice and find out what are the right players that play well with each other for the doubles game. Now, I also spoke with Mikey Matson, another senior on this team, and she said that while that's definitely a challenge that they're going to have to figure out, she's really excited about this season in general. She mentioned how close-knit of a team it is, and she's ready to get things started.
So the main thing we've been focusing on at the moment is just fitness and being able to get the ball in and start competing, so we know where we stand this first opening weekend and kind of get a gauge of where we're at and then build from there.
Right now with us in practice is establishing our doubles teams. It's not necessarily, there is no partnership really that's coming back from last year, so we're kind of fresh in all our partnerships, and just getting those guys comfortable playing with each other, and learning strengths and weaknesses between the two players is huge. So I think that's kind of the focus that we've had in practice, and hopefully that's going to pay off when we start playing.
It ends up being super important because you are playing 6 singles, and it ends up always being the tiebreaker. Because a lot of the time you're putting your best player at 1 and they're playing their best player at 1 and et cetera all the way to 6. So all the matches end up being really close knit, and doubles ends up being the decider most of the time. You can take a look at our record last year. A lot of our wins ended up being 4-3, and the result was just because of the doubles. And it is overlooked, and it's only 20 minutes at the start of the match, but it is probably the most important 3 matches of the whole entire day.
And while we won't know until this weekend who those new doubles partners will be, there's certainly no question on how close these teammates are. The seniors are always there to help the underclassmen adjust, and it's a team that's been able to bond from sharing their cultures.
It's actually crazy how many languages I think this team can speak in total. I can only speak 1, which is a bit embarrassing for our team. But yeah, we end up connecting through the game of tennis, which is absolutely incredible. You know, there is a language barrier, but when you get that clean hit and hit a good shot, everyone's cheering for you, and we know how hard it is to be on the court on your own all the time and end up talking some stuff to yourself. So it ends up being like a connection, and you end up supporting each other really quickly.
We do spend a lot of time together. The fact that we practice off campus, so we're driving to practice, every day. So additional hour, half hour essentially each way in the van. Essentially they all get along pretty well together. Living together, they're together as well, some of them. So I think it's a pretty together group.
Especially collegiate sports, you can never prepare your freshmen for everything that's going to come ahead, but the main thing we've been telling them is to just keep your head in the game, work as hard as you can, and kind of just always put your best foot forward.
Right now, we're going to rely on our seniors, but we're also trying to just get healthy a bit. So Mel, who's one of our seniors, strongest player, has been sidelined with some shoulder issues, so working through that a bit. But, we're relying on everybody. I mean, the seniors are important to us, but getting the freshmen into the lineup and getting them comfortable is, in my mind, equally as important.
Now for the Pirates, it's going to be about maintaining their focus for this weekend's matches. It's a long and grueling season with over 20 matches over the next 2.5 months, so Seton Hall's going to have to take it on a day-by-day basis.
For Binghamton especially, it's just kind of perfecting that deep and neutral ball and making sure that we're able to control the point from the get-go, especially off the return of serve. And for Georgetown, obviously, we just want to give them a run for their money and make sure we start off Big East Conference play with a win.
The important thing is transitioning to competition again. It's been a while since we've played. The gap between fall and spring, but hopefully, within practice we're simulating that, playing against each other. Not always, easy to compete against each other, but it's, what you have to do, and hopefully everybody will be comfortable. There'll be nerves, but hopefully everybody can get through that this weekend.
Obviously we're looking for connections and who fits with who and which game style complements the other. I can't say for certain who's playing with who or who I connect with the most. It'll definitely be a surprise for Saturday, but whoever we end up playing with, I'm sure it'll be a good combo.
So those new doubles pairings will be unveiled this weekend. As a reminder, Seton Hall faces off against Binghamton on Saturday and Georgetown on Sunday. So for all your Seton Hall tennis scoring updates, news, schedules, and information, make sure to head to shupirates.com. And as always, let's go Pirates.
Now it's time to send it to our sideline reporter, Matt Mlodzinski, with an update from there.
Well, thank you, Mike. Desiree Elmore has come up big in the first quarter for Seton Hall with 10 points through the first quarter of play. Elmore, who was in her second year with the Pirates after transferring from Syracuse, is originally from Hartford, Connecticut. Growing up roughly 30 minutes from Storrs, Connecticut, may play into what seems like a personal game for Elmore. We'll see how the former 5-star recruit can help the Pirates out in the remainder of the game, who lead by 9 after the first quarter. Back over to Dalton and Chris.
In our South Orange studios, I'm going to send it to our beat writer, Matt Mlodzinski, for your sideline scoring update. Matt.
Thanks, Ronnie. Well, Coach DeFalco was very adamant at halftime about making sure that Seton Hall would continue to attack Megan Walker and Olivia Nelson-Odota in the paint. Both picked up 2 fouls in the first half, which allowed for the Pirates to open the floor up as they're now up to 11 made threes on the night. It's been a little bit of a slower pace for a lot of the second half, so let's look to see if the Pirates elect to try and speed it up more or go with the flow, only down 6 points to start the fourth quarter. Back over to Dalton and Chris on the call. Matt Mlodzinski here with Coach Bozzella. Coach, I want to take back to Providence first. You guys had 5 players in double-figure scoring and then strong play from the supporting cast. How would you really grade your team's performance?
Matt, nice to see you, and hello everyone out there in Pirate Land. No, I give us a solid B, probably an A, because anytime you win at this time of the year, it's hard to win. Like, the kids are tired, everyone's exhausted. I keep track from our first day of practice, day 149. It's not easy. It's certainly not easy to win on the road. I thought our best players, our top players, didn't play their A game. But then, you get kids like Barbara and Alexia and LP, our point guard, played great. Maya's defense was amazing. Femi came in and gave us great energy and toughness, and drew a couple fouls on their big kid. All those kids made a big difference. And it wasn't a game for Alexis, Shadeen, or Dez, but that's what a good team does. And we were fortunate that everyone was ready to play on Friday for us to win.
Coach, talk about how exhausting it is at this time of the season, and now you have to do a Friday-Sunday trip from Providence to Creighton. How do you get your team ready for something like that?
It's hard. It's mental. You were with us. We didn't practice much yesterday. You got to mentally be ready, and you got to mentally figure it out. Matt, anyone who thinks playing Friday night, or we were able to play Friday early afternoon, and Sunday afternoon is good for anyone is a fool. It's hard. But, that's the schedule we have and the schedule we have to do. So we have to figure it out, and I'm really proud of how hard the kids work. I'm really appreciative of Seton Hall, able to get a charter flight to get here. If we took commercial, we wouldn't get here the next day. And, Seton Hall supports women's basketball. Fantastic. We're lucky, but it's still hard on the kids no matter what. But we're ready. We're going to play hard, and we know what we have to do today. Can we do it? We'll see.
So taking it to this Creighton game, obviously Jalen Agnew is one of the best scoring players in the Big East, but also a good passer at that forward spot. How are you guys going to limit her?
Matt, she's a really good passer. Excellent point by you. We want her to take 3-point. We want her we don't want her to allow her to take 3-point shots. She's only taken 3 foul shots in the past 6 games. Very tentative going to the basket. I don't know why. She's selling for a jump shot. Now, she's a tremendous shooter, so we've got to defend that really well, get a hand up, and really, really force her, not on the line, but maybe 2 to 3 feet behind the line. And then we got to rebound, Matt. They do a great job of offensive rebounding and kicking it back out for 3. And that's a big key for us today.
And you talk about Creighton being such a good 3-point shooting team, also one of the better scoring teams in this conference. But Seton Hall, in the first quarter, has been good with the scoring margin, outscoring opponents by almost 150 points so far this season. So is the first quarter a key to this game?
Yeah, I think it's another great research by you. That's why you do an excellent job, Matt. We got to be up in the first quarter. If we're not, it's going to be a difficult task. So we have to come out. We have to execute well. I think we do a good job of preparing the kids, and I think the kids do a great job of executing their preparation to score the ball in the first quarter, running good plays and setting our good players up.
Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck today.
Thank you, Matt.
Like October here in South Orange, New Jersey, as the Seton Hall Pirates get ready to host the Providence Friars in a Big East Conference matchup inside historic Walsh Gymnasium. Matt Mlodzinski here alongside Michael Daly. And Michael, this game is crucial because both of these teams are at 9th and 10th respectively in the Big East, so a win here would put them towards the middle of the pack in the conference.
The winner of this game will essentially be inserted with the names of St. John's, Xavier, Georgetown. That is extremely crucial because you're dealing with a Providence team that has dropped 6 games in a row and a Seton Hall team that is on a 3-game skid. If Seton Hall can somehow avoid a 4-game skid, that is extremely crucial, especially with the fact that they're playing Creighton tomorrow night. But tonight is most certainly a winnable game. Win the games you can. Tonight is definitely a game that can be won. And if they do, they will be in good shape.
And one of those players on Seton Hall who's going to have to step up big tonight is Amanda Rockwell. She is one of their best players anyways. She had 14 kills in their last game out against DePaul, and she's a player on this team who Coach Jaeger is really expecting to step up big tonight.
She was a big reason why they were even able to win the first set. They won 25-15. She was on fire during the first set, and she was resilient throughout. That is key, because even when this team is struggling, which they have, Amanda Rockwell has just maintained her composure, and she is one of the most talented players on this team. She's a big reason why this team is in every set.
And another player on the other side of the net is Jennifer Lietman. She's arguably Providence's most talented player. She's our player to watch for the Friars, but Seton Hall can neutralize her in one way.
Jennifer Lietman right now is 5th in the Big East with 166 kills. She leads Providence, obviously, but one thing that Seton Hall can use to their advantage is the fact that she is prone to a lot of mistakes. She has 90 errors on the season. That is a problem for her, especially up front for Amanda Rockwell as well as Emily Turner. They could take advantage of that tonight and make life hard for the freshman Jennifer Lietman.
This game will probably be won by whatever team commits the fewest errors, and that's going to be the thing to watch tonight. We'll be back more at the start of the broadcast here on the Pirate Sports Network, presented to you by RWJ Barnabas Health.
Welcome to historic Walsh Gymnasium as the Seton Hall Pirates and the Providence Friars are now ready to start up their match this evening. Mlodzinski here alongside Michael Daly again for those joining us. We're just going to run over the starting lineups really quickly. First for the visiting Friars, Janae Alderson is number 0, Addison Root number 2, Allison Barber number 3, Jennifer Lietman number 4, Brielle Mullally number 7, Mackenzie Taylor number 11, and Lindsay Chiable number 14. And now for your home Pirates, Seton Hall, Eden Dolezal number 1, Haley Gasser number 9, Maggie Spelbar number 10, Amanda Rockwell number 12, Reagan Murray number 13, Julia Wilkins number 17, and Madison Salkowski number 18. And Michael, we kind of talked in the open that Jennifer Lietman and Amanda Rockwell matchup is going to be one to keep an eye on.
That is definitely going to be the mainstay throughout this game. But for Seton Hall, Matt, in order to neutralize Jennifer Lietman, they need to get off to a hot start, and that begins with the serve.
And Seton Hall will begin with the serve today as Julia Wilkins gets back. Barely gets that one over, fielded by Providence. That's Allison Barber with the attack. Seton Hall on the other end. Haley Gasser will give it a try. And that'll be just a little bit too far out of bounds as Providence gets on the board first.
Gasser had a little bit too much power on it, but that's what you want to see. You want to see her active. You want to see her exploding towards the ball.
And it'll be Barber to serve for the Friars. Puts that one over towards the middle. Spelbar sets it up for Gasser again. This time Gasser gets to it easily, and the Providence back line wasn't there in time.
Addison Root played it well, but unfortunately Providence just didn't have enough manpower there to help out with that dig.
So it's 1-1. We actually do apologize for the technical difficulties today. A little bit short on the broadcast, but we'll deal with it. It'll be an old-fashioned radio broadcast today. We'll just have to keep updating you guys with the score. And to update right there, Providence off to a 2-1 lead.
Seton Hall, the one problem that they can easily fall in today, Matt, is the fact that they're not active enough, because Jennifer Lietman, you just saw it there, even though her ball was deflected, she was constantly on it and trying to get her own kill.
And it'll be Lietman to serve. She's our player to watch for the Friars this evening. Spelbar sets it up to Salkowski, and that one goes a little bit too far out left. Providence up 3-1 early on.
You could tell on that spike attempt, Salkowski was just a little bit too excited. She needs to just settle down just a bit as we enter this game.
Lietman serves again, fielded by Dolezal. Spelbar up to Salkowski. She floated that one over. Providence responds with a kill of their own. 4-1 Friars.
Matt, that might be a problem tonight. All throughout this season, defensively, Seton Hall groups together and clusters towards the front of the net. They can't do that.
Coach Allison Yeager for the Pirates, one of the most respected coaches in Seton Hall history, said that middle blocking is going to be key for the Pirates tonight. Julia Wilkins hits it up to Salkowski. And Jennifer Lietman not able to get to that one as Seton Hall gets on the board again. It's 4-2 Friars.
Seton Hall started out with a bit of a smaller lineup, but now with the emergence of Emily Turner in here, it kind of works in their favor because Providence is a big lineup.
You mentioned Emily Turner could be key tonight. I know you're very high on her.
She's one of their best players.
And Providence, that was Brielle Mullally. A little bit too far off with that one. Seton Hall, 2 straight points, 4-3.